Welcome to the lecture Matrix Impression Taking. In the matrix workflow, we already placed an implant and managed the soft tissue, and right now we are ready to take an impression. For taking an impression, I would like to introduce you to the 3D Touch Impression Post. Basically, the 3D Touch Impression Post can be used as an open tray impression post, as well as for a scan body, either in an intraoral scan or in a model scan. Included in the packaging is always a short screw for better handling, and an instrument-free handling is also quite unique in the system, and I'm going to explain you this in the next slides. The 3D Touch Impression Post components are basically these four. So we have a long and a short version for platform 3.7, as well as a long and a short version for platform 4.5. For you, important to understand is that in the article number there's always an S for short version and an L for the long version. The same thing here for the platform 4.5. By the way, the platform difference can always recognized in the article number. At the end there's always a P45 or P37. This touchless instrument-free handling is shown in these three steps. Basically, you use this handle, place through this handle the impression post in the implant, and then when you have hand tightened that screw, you can break it off easily, and then you can take an intraoral scan or an open tray impression, and after taking the impression you turn the handle 180 degrees and stick it onto this bowl, and then you can remove the screw easily out of the patient's mouth. The change screw is important for especially limited occlusal spaces. You can remove the long screw and add the in the packaging integrated short screw, and then you are able to have a really close contact to your intraoral scanner because the screw head is deep inside of the scan body. This works for the intraoral scanning or the analog scanning. The model scanning. Talking about model scanning, here we have in an analog way, it's always necessary to do a model scan, and then we are ready to use Exocad or 3Shape for the designing of matrix prosthetics. The Matrix 3D Touch as open tray impression post can be used basically in following steps. Screw retaining with the long screw the impression post in the patient's mouth until you feel the screw is in position and you feel torque. There's no need for an extra control X-ray because the threads of the long screw will only fitting into the implant when the position of the rotational lock of the scan body is, or of the impression post is found, and then you break off the handle as already described. Take your silicon impression, doesn't matter if there's a lot of silicon above it, you just turn around this handle, and then you are able to stick out of 45 degrees angulation even this handle on top of this bowl, and then you can remove easily the scan body or the impression post out of the patient's mouth. The same thing for 3D Touch intraoral scanning. You use the 3D Touch in the same way. You can use the long or the short screw as already mentioned. In this example is the long screw, and then you can do in this moment after breaking off the handle, you can do an intraoral scan. On this picture you can see this is used with the short screw because the long screw would stick out, as you can see it here a little bit, and that makes it more possible to have more space for doing the intraoral scanning. That's why we added this short screw. And then after the digitalization of the mouth situation, you are ready to send this information to your dental technician. The next thing we have to talk about the Matrix Scan Bridge for impression taking, and especially highest precision impression taking of large distances of bridges or even of full arches in a digital way in an intraoral scanning. We developed this so-called scan bridge. The scan bridge can be printed locally or by your dental technician. It's just an STL file which includes different designs of this scan bridge, and this STL file can be downloaded free of charge from our website or in the next step of our training program here online. The scan bridge is compatible with all intraoral scanners in the market. It's just reference points which makes it more accurate and more easy and also faster to do an intraoral scan. Here is the different designs which are included in this STL file. There's short ones, there's longer ones, and there's strong angulated ones which you can print out. And you can see here already on this picture the click to the scan body is always in the lower retention. So you have always to use, that's an important information, the long scan bodies. Don't use the short scan bodies, because we want to make sure that this area here gives you a perfect scan of your implant position. And that's the workflow for the scan bridge. You have to download the scan bridge files, then you print the files, and then you are ready to use the right length or shorten or angulated ones, and then you just use these 3D printed parts. Here it's wrongly actually in the video. You have to click it to the lower part and not to the top part, and then you click it to one implant impression post, and the other side you just can fix with light cure material to with a drop of light cure material to the scan body, and then this scan bridge is really fixed in the patient's mouth and gives you a lot of reference points to do a scan very accurately, as you can see it here on this last video. To download, to get your scan bridge files, you just have to go to the next step here on the Tree Academy, or you can do an picture or a screenshot right now from this QR code, and this QR code leads you to our website basically, and you can request for file access. Thank you for listening. See you in the next part.